What up, peeps? It's me, D from DCTV, here with another week of Weekly Detox. And as usual, y'all, I am here with
Mighty Mozby. Hey.
hey, how y'all doing out there? How you feeling?
Sunday.
You feeling the Sundays?
Feeling the Sundays. This Mercury retrograde has been rough. Has been very
Mercury micro braids, as you said.
Mercury drinking Gatorade has been very, very tough this year. This season. Because there's already been a few this year. But this one has been a doozy. Ugh.
I need that to not be, because this is my spooky month. I need it to be just good
vibes. Just so much of my life was canceled. In succession. Just like thanks.
Mm-hmm. And now we got a few more months of this year. We'll see how it turns out.
Man, 2022 better come through.
We'll see. I'm gonna just keep myself quiet and just see. Not gonna make too many predictions.
Man.
But anyways, I hope you all out there again are doing real good. Hopefully Mercury is not messing with you. Venus will get Mercury in check and say, like, girl, sit down a little bit.
Friend, take a nap.
Nobody needs this right now. Go chill.
The energy, child. The energy.
But anyways, when you are not talking about the planets and their alignments, Mighty Mozby, where are you at what to see what else you be talking about?
If you want to hear the other things that are making me cranky, you can find me on Twitter, Facebook, Snapchat, TikTok, Instagram, and as always at www.ambermosbywrites.com.
Yes, check out all of those things. There's always something that's going to stimulate your mind, your spirit, what have you. All of those will be linked in the description box, so check those out. And while you're down there, if you've made it this far, make sure that you smash, tap that like button. Let us know that you showed up. Hit it.
Hit the button.
Leave a comment below. Let us know what you think about the topics we're going to discuss today, or if there's anything else you want us to talk about. And, if you keep coming back, checking in with us, you might as well become a subscriber.
Just like us already.
Become one of our full-time peeps. Hit that notification bell twice, and then you'll always know when we've dropped our latest upload. All right. So, you ready to talk about what we're going to talk about this week?
Let's get into it.
Cool. I'm going to give us some mess, because I always do. But I'm also going to give you a little political tea. We'll switch a little bit this week. So, you want to start with the mess or the political tea? What you feeling?
I feel like you said the same thing twice.
No?
I feel like you just said the same thing twice.
I know, right? Both sides are full of messy queens.
Absolutely.
So let's get into the political tea, because it's pretty good. Pretty good. So it's come to our attention that our good friend from the West Coast, the best coast, Governor Gavin Newsome, is just in the energy of shaking tables. That's his energy right now.
I mean, listen, without revealing too much, my Governor Gavin is spitting in the face of a few people with the things he's passing. He said, so you want to try and recall me?
Yes. Governor Gavin Newsome of California has put his boot on people's necks, and it don't seem like he's letting up anytime soon with these bills he's been passing.
My boy said, come one, come all. He really had things in the pocket waiting for the foolishness.
He said, okay, now I guess it's time to stop being polite and time to start getting real.
Okay. Aggressively real. The things he's passing seem very pointed moves.
Yeah.
The just, you know.
Yeah, let me break down just some of the highlights.
Break it down for us.
He has passed over 24 bills in a very short amount of time. Like essentially since the recall nonsense was finished, he just started dropping them bills like dollars in the strip club. So here are some of the highlights that just really made me impressed. One of the bills he passed is that starting 2029 school year, that ethnic studies will be a high school requirement for graduation.
Yes. Y'all can't see me, but I'm snapping.
This one is giving me, okay, so we won't do critical race theory so y'all don't cry, but y'all gonna get this history regardless.
You're gonna learn this knowledge. Y'all getting some truth starting now.
It's giving, we're gonna repackage critical race theory so people stop crying.
It's giving ha racist.
Sure. Okay, we won't teach critical race theory. We'll just ethnic studies.
We'll just teach ethnic studies.
And make it fun.
We'll just make it an absolute requirement to get your diploma. But totally it's for fun. It's your choice. You know, it's still your choice. To either open your eyes or fail at life. Congratulations.
Yeah. So that was great. Like with ethnic studies courses, you're going to learn, of course, a lot about Black American history. Hello.
Definitely.
But you also are going to learn about, Asian American history, Latino history, Chicano history. Like you get so many indigenous history. So hopefully they're really going to take advantage of this requirement and bring some knowledge that people really need to know. The students really need to know. So that's cool.
And not a Disney version. Not a whitewashed version.
Yeah, so
where you empathize with the villain for some weird reason.
Yeah, the Disney version of history we've gotten thus far. No, thank you. So that is to start 2029 school year. Another bill he has passed is that he is putting a limit on those gang enhancement sentences. So if people don't know about the gang enhancement sentences, basically, if there's any evidence that a person who's charged with any particular criminal crime has any gang affiliation, it doesn't matter how deep or how periphery they are, you automatically can get an enhanced sentence. And sometimes these sentences tack on years and years and years on top of your original criminal charges just by having this affiliation. So with that prison issue that's been going on, the overpopulation of minorities, a lot of them have gotten these really, really big sentences based on these gang enhancements. And this could sometimes be just they grew up in a neighborhood that had a certain gang affiliation. And through that, just through circumstances, that was their affiliation. They possibly could get those enhancements. So he's going to limit a lot of those, which is going to look really good for the prison population.
Absolutely. They're making some very crucial changes to our gosh, what am I trying to say?
Criminal
right
justice.
Now, yes, but for some reason my brain wants to say to our DOJ, and that's not it at all. Our DOJ. To our judicial system here in California. There it is.
That's going to look very interesting. Another bill he passed, starting 2022, women's menstrual products will be available for free in public schools and all colleges in California. This is amazing.
Yes.
This is amazing. And it's far
normalize it. Normalize the fact that this is a part of a woman's life for a long time. From a very young age, this is a part of our lives. Normalize it.
It just happens.
We didn't ask for this. Normalize it.
And it's very expensive.
It is. Oh my gosh. It really is.
Very expensive if you do the math.
It really is though. And I'm just like, and now the tampons are getting fancier and fancier, and it's just $12 a box. And you're just like, but why?
Yeah, especially if you're like a broke college student, like a lot of us.
Oh my goodness.
You have to $12 your budget for this. And now
that $12 had to stretch for 3 days sometimes.
Yeah. So I am glad for this. I hope more and more states pass this. I mean, it just only makes sense.
Clearly. I always when I was in high school, those things never worked. Those machines in the bathroom, they were there, but they never worked.
Yeah.
I never understood why I'm just like, no one is filling these ever. And then you'd have to go to the nurse. You'd have to ask to go to the nurse in the middle of class and then come back. Everyone knows what you went for. It's very obvious. Thanks.
Yeah. So this is really helpful. There's a lot of help to women getting these just readily available across schools and campuses. It's going to be so much more convenient for the girls. So I am very happy for this.
Yes, normalized menstruation. Thank you.
Another bill he passed. I'm like, okay, Gavin,
this is like this is like the best resume I've ever seen.
Yes. Another bill he passed that shows he know how to have a good time is that in California, cocktails will now be able to go.
Yes.
You could get that mimosa and walk it on down the street.
Okay. Oh, let's do an art walk with our mimosas. Yes, please.
Yes. I mean, it only makes sense during these corona times that we're in. Like, people aren't sitting indoors like that. So, I mean, this is not new to other states. Like Miami, you've always been able to get cocktails to go. Las Vegas, you've always been able to get cocktails to go. So for a place like California, I think it makes sense to have that policy that if you don't know, walking around buzzed is one of the most fun experiences you can have. I'm telling you. I'm grown enough. If you are 21,
I'm telling you,
over.
And and with the right group on a good vibe with some nice weather, I'm here for it. I'm here for it.
So Californians, get ready to grab those drinks and get to stepping because you can do that now.
Hey.
Another bill of note that how is this not federal? He enacted a stealthing law.
I couldn't believe it.
For the creeps who would choose to take off condoms when they are being intimate with a woman without their consent or with a man. You now can't do that lawfully. I can't believe that wasn't already a thing, but I guess sometimes you got to really tell people to not be gross.
I got caught up in a debate about this very subject because I stated that stealthing is a form of sexual assault, and and that not only stealthing, but also any contraceptive, interfering with contraceptive forms in any form. So like poking holes in condoms and things like that is a form of sexual assault. And somebody tried to debate with me that wouldn't be considered a form of rape / sexual assault. I said the lack of consent. They really tried to debate that it wouldn't be that. And I was just like, so I had to provide them. Here you go.
So that person was the embodiment of, tell me you don't engage in sexual assault behaviors without telling me
I'm just saying, I couldn't believe it. Just like a full-on argument of how that legally could not be considered sexual assault. And I was just like,
not the case, sir.
But now you know.
We're confused. It is no longer the case, at least in California.
Yep.
I need this to be federal.
I couldn't believe
states.
I couldn't believe folks didn't know about this.
Like, we shouldn't have to tell someone not to do this. You should just, not want to manipulate or abuse your connection to people. But I guess you needed a law to tell you that. Whatever. It's here now. Another bill he passed is there, of course, is this ongoing issue with Black women and their maternal mortality rates.
Yes.
Black women have been found to die during or post childbirth at the highest rates of all women in the US, at least. So he has passed a bill that's going to enact a health committee specifically addressing and trying to decrease those Black women maternal death rates. So that is so good. So good.
I'm glad that the spotlight is bright enough at last. Because I've seen people yelling about this for years.
Yep. And we know that there's this statistically and research proven racial bias when it comes to Black women in terms of how you manage their health, how you manage their pregnancy procedures, all of these things, to the fact that people are now opting to work with doulas or have home births as opposed to possibly dealing with, some complications due to these biases. So I'm glad they're really going to start putting research and understanding what is the difference in terms of the treatment or whatever. Is there something biological that's happening that's leading to these high mortality rates in Black women? That's really cool.
Great news.
And a final one of note is that Gavin Newsome is going along with other states that have already enacted this, in that he is passing a bill to strip badges from bad cops. So we know in the past that even though there has been video evidence of some of these criminal behaviors that cops have enacted, they still get to hold their badge, do their whole investigation. Some of them aren't even suspended. There's so many ways that these are mismanaged. So Gavin Newsom is jumping on board to regulating types of holds cops can do, regulating their use of what are those bullets? Those rubber bullets. They're regulating the use of those in crowds of protests, and they are stripping badges from bad cops. You do not get to continue holding a badge when you are on trial or being investigated for not upholding what that badge is supposed to represent, period.
Makes sense to me. I never understood how this wasn't already being in place. How can you continue to do the job that you're being investigated for doing wrong?
How does that make sense? So again, these things shouldn't have to be told to someone by law, but I guess people are just, very hard-headed. So you have to actually put it in physical law writing for them to understand. You can't do these things. So these are just some of the highlights that bills that Gavin Newsom has recently passed. I don't think he is stopping anytime soon. I can't wait to see what else he's going to throw down and just make all the conservatives of California just even more mad at him. I mean, you understand?
It's nuts. It's nuts. And I have a divide in some of my friends, people who love the state, but are just like, this man's got to go. And I'm just looking at him like, what's he doing that's so bad he's got to go? Which one of these things is the thing that's got you upset? Is it just financial because the state taxes are so high?
Yeah.
Or is it this very, very progressive reform that he's doing across the divide? Which one of these things is the problem for you?
I wonder what. I wonder what. But you know what? It is what it is. I think it's cool that he's finally taken the opportunity, because the reputation that Democrat politicians have, like the do-nothing Democrats. They don't like to make waves. They don't pass too many things that's going to look too progressive. I think he's finally in the space like, why stall on these? People are going to be mad regardless of if you do nothing or you do something. So why not try to enact some things that could really make some long-term positive changes in our society?
I'm here for it.
We are here for it, Gavin. All right, to get on to some decisions that we won't be happy about. Me and Mozby have talked about this, but I was like, why not just drag again? The Harder They Fall is the Black Western movie coming out very soon. I think it's coming out next month. It's a movie about these historical Black outlaws and some of the adventures that they go on. Starring Idris Elba and starring the Regina King, which we love Regina King.
We do.
What we don't love is this controversy that has been in the casting of Mary Fields, who is better known as Stagecoach Mary, who historically was a stagecoach guard. She was a great marksman, and her role in guarding the mail on stagecoaches led to the Civil War being won by the North. She had a major contribution to that during her duties. This woman, if you see historical images, was a taller than average large, dark-skinned, unambiguously Black woman. Yes, we love that this is the image of something positive in US history. But if you don't know that historical fact and just watch this movie that's coming out, you will think that Stagecoach Mary was a biracial German Black woman, because that's who they cast to play her. Miss Zazie Beetz has been cast. So, like I said, me and Mozby have talked about this, but tell the people kind of our highlights of this.
I mean, we did some research because, you know, we want to make sure that we're coming from a place of learn and knowledge, a learned place, if you will. And so we looked up Miss Stagecoach Mary, and I got to tell you, this is a broad Black woman, like a Black woman. Like there's no ifs, ands, or buts. That is a Black woman. I saw recently that Black women, darker skinned Black women, are no longer fans of constantly being called chocolate. So I'm not sure what the community is, you know, like instead of saying dark skin, is dark skin just it, or is there something else? I don't know yet. I digress. Either way, we all know what Zazie Beetz looks like.
Exactly. No matter what
dark skinned Black woman. In conclusion, choosing a biracial woman to play this unambiguously dark-skinned Black American is incredibly unnecessary and very tone deaf. Case closed.
Yeah, just we've seen this lightning and Europeifying, exotifying these historical Black characters. I mean, not Black characters, historical Black American figures. One notable is that dumpster fire of a Nina Simone biopic starring Black-face nose prosthetic Zoe Saldana.
Oh my gosh. I had blocked that out of my memories.
Still won't watch it. Still mad when I think about it.
Ooh, good.
So we've seen this happen over and over, where the image of what a Black woman it looks like in cinema tends to lean towards this more white, Eurocentric features, biracial leaning image, which is just not accurate. If you are a person who just lives and exists in America, you know what an average Black woman looks like. And so this whole, and it happens to Black women characters way more than it happens to Black male characters, which is another issue. And so this thing, it's been done. It's so tired. It's so lazy. It's so disrespectful. Like, we're tired of it. It's done. Like, how many more times do we have to tell you how changing our image in this way is harmful? Like, how many times, how many ways do we need to keep saying this?
And what was the most interesting thing about that, outside of how obviously tone deaf Hollywood continues to be, is that for all the male characters in the movie, they picked Black men to play characters that are to play people who are biracial. That's so we looked up the other characters in the movie, and most of the members of this gang were biracial Black Americans and American natives. And yet they picked a bunch of unambiguous Black men to play those characters. And then took a mixed woman and put her for the one full Black woman character. It's just really weird. It seems like a pointed effort.
Right?
It seems like a pointed effort to do something like that and to be that obvious about it. Like, all it took was one Google search and you're like, boop, wait a minute. And to just be so obvious about it. And so I tweeted about this. I put a tweet up about it. I didn't bash Zazie. I didn't say boycott the movie. I said simply, I said
Dee said it.
Dee says boycott the movie. Let's just make sure. I might have talked over you. I just want to make sure everyone heard. Dee's decided to boycott. But what I'm saying is, I didn't put the post up to like try to start a revolution. All I said was just like, I said, this is Stagecoach Mary. Hollywood thinks that she looks like Zazie Beetz. I disagree. And immediately, here comes black men. Here comes black men.
The Detox Brigade came.
Here comes black men. You black women can't be satisfied. She's a black woman too.
So tired.
Here they came.
Like, just the intellectual dishonesty of it all is just what is so exhausting about it. Like, you know what you're doing. We've talked about it culturally way too much for anyone to be shocked that we're not feeling this. And if you're gonna pretend like Zazie Beetz is a fine representation of a character like Stagecoach Mary, like, I'm just not gonna be able to have a conversation with you. Like, and before, yeah, go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
And I was just gonna say, and before the Dust Brigade starts saying, but you know, we gotta let people just, if they're good for the role, if they're acting well, they should be able to play the role. We have already said, if it's a fictional character, if it's
do as you
fake sci-fi fantasy story, I don't care what nation you're from. I don't care what ethnicity you are. I don't care what your native language is. If it's a fictional character, play it if you're good enough for the role. But when it comes to Black American historical characters, which we have very limitedly seen on the big screen, like, we need to see what these characters really look like, what they historically look like.
And I just had the hashtag of like, stop colorism.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm telling you that the men came in, and I'm just going to say men because it wasn't only Black men commenting. It was mostly Black men.
We don't do that, not all over here. We don't play those.
It was mostly Black men. But,
but we don't do that over here. Sorry.
They were posting color palettes. Like, which part of this is Black enough for you? I was like, are you serious
right now?
Are you serious? They really had posted a color palette. Which one of these is Black enough for you? Like, Black enough? How about accurate to the human being that existed? How about that?
Now, this isn't not a fiction. This is real. This was a real woman. She really contributed to American history. So I'm sorry if we kind of take that a little more seriously than the average casting. Sorry.
I'm just like, come on, guys. And she's the right actress she's the best talent for the, she's not the right choice for the role, gang.
Yeah, like, I've seen Zazie Beetz in a few things. She is fine as a professional actor.
Mm-hmm.
Do I believe that Zazie Beetz just tore that stage down so hard that they were just like, no one else can do it? It's a hard, absolutely not for me. You're not telling me you couldn't have found a Leslie Jones, for example, we talked about, would be a great physical depiction of that character. Tasty from Orange is the New Black, great actress, should be in more roles than we see her. Who else?
It's funny that you say that, because that was exactly my response to one of the comments on the tweets. Like, the guy said, there are no dark-skinned actresses that could have played this.
Wow, just a bold-faced lie, huh? That's what we're doing.
I said, sir, you're loud and you're wrong. And I did a collage that had Leslie Jones. I'm so sorry, I keep forgetting her name, the actress that played Tasty from Orange is the New Black.
Danielle, and the last name escapes me.
Danielle, and she also has like a bunch of music videos out. So shout out, that's a plug for her. Since I keep forgetting her name, I apologize. And then I also even had, and I say this begrudgingly, I had Lena Waithe on there as well.
Physically, yeah. I can see it physically.
Physically, yes. I don't know if she can play a character like that, since she always plays a snarky lesbian. I don't know if she can do anything else.
Yeah. So there are options out there. To pretend like there wasn't is just, again, you choosing to be intellectually dishonest, and I don't have time for it.
Right. And to put it in print, just loud and wrong.
Mm-hmm. So it's unfortunate. I'm glad that it was brought to our attention though before the movie premiered, so that hopefully Black women can see the information and make an invested decision of where they want to put their views and what they want to give prominence in terms of our image. Because we have that ability. We don't have to tune in. I personally will not be tuning in. I'll just look up documentaries for this person and give my, respect in that way. So
support. Hashtag
again, we're just
colorism.
tired. We're tired. It's delayed. It's tired. It's through. And we don't want to see it anymore. Moving on from that, very tacky. Moving on.